The Terracotta Army of Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang was the first emperor of China. He was a strict emperor and his rules for punishment were very harsh. Qin believed in the afterlife. He believed he needed an army buried with him that would rule with him over the people of China. Qin believed in immortality. The Terracotta Army was discovered on March 29, 1974 by a group of farmers while digging for a water well. The Terracotta Army with warriors and horses were buried with the emperor in 210 to 209 BC. That's about 2,200 years ago. The Terracotta Army is located east of Sian in Shehnai province. There were over 8,000 soldiers, 130 chariots with 520 horses, and 150 cavalry horses that were buried within Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum. Also found were terracotta acrobats, strongmen, and musicians. To construct the mausoleum Qin was buried in, it took 720,000 workers. It took 38 years to create this mausoleum for Qin. He started the creation of the mausoleum during his first few years of emperor. The pits lie within the outside of the tomb mound. The various pits contain bronze carriages, stone armor suits, burial sites of horses, rare animals, laborers, and bronze ducks in an underground park. Qin's main tomb is still undiscovered. They are uncertain of the exact location. Terracotta is baked earth and is a clay-based ceramic that is fired at a high temperature. The Terracotta Army was made in workshops by government, laborers, and by local craftsmen. Each warrior has a different face. No warrior is the same. Some have mustaches even. 8 molds were thought of as being used, and then clay was added to mold the individual face. The pits that the Terracotta Army was found in were placed in exact military formation. This was in accordance with their rank and duty. The figures are life-size and vary in height and uniform and hairstyle according to their rank. Most of the figures held real weapons. These weapons were spears, swords, or crossbows. The figures were painted in pink, red, green, blue, black, brown, and lilac. The legs, arms, and body were molded separately, then attached together with an individual unique face. Details of the eyes, nose, mouth, and detail of the dress were carved while the clay was still pliable. Ears, beard, and armors were molded separately, then attached. Then the figurine was fired at a high temperature. In Pit 1 they found chariots and ranks of 6,000 soldiers. Pit 2 held 1,400 figurines of cavalrymen, horses, and infantrymen, along with 90 wooden chariots. Pit 3 contained about 70 figurines. More than 1,000 warriors have been reassembled today. There is a world-famous Qin Terracotta Army Museum in China. The museum is built on the site of the terracotta warriors and horses pits in the Emperor Qin's mausoleum. The museum is located at the northern peak of Lishan Mountain, east of Lingtong County in Shehnai Province. The museum has 2 sets of bronze chariots and horses. It has a movie that is 20 minutes long detailing the story of Emperor Qin and his Terracotta Army. Parts of the Terracotta Army have been displayed in museums in North America, Sweden, Great Britain, and Spain. The Terracotta Army can be compared to ancient Greek terracotta figurines. The ancient Greek terracotta figurines date back to 10,000 century BC. They were mass-produced and mold-cast fired terracotta figurines. The terracotta figurines the ancient Greeks used were for decorations, cult images, and some of them were believed to ward off evil. They were more doll-like with movable limbs. They were brought to temples and sanctuaries as an offering to the gods. Some of the terracotta figurines the ancient Greeks buried with the deceased were thought of to take care of and nurture them in the afterlife. The ancient Greeks also buried the figurines with the deceased as gifts or believing they would protect the deceased. Even though the ancient Greek terracotta figurines weren't of an army like Qin, they were still thought of to protect and nurture the individual in the afterlife. This is similar that Qin thought the terracotta army would protect him in the afterlife.